Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Classics Show. I'm your host Shabnaam Riaz. How are you on this Sunday evening? Hoping that you've had a fabulous weekend and you're all energized for the week to follow, and before you know it you'll have another weekend. And what better way to spend your Sunday evenings than with us on the Classics Show. Today we have a fabulous subject for you and even more fabulous guests. We're going to be talking about volunteerism and literacy and how the connection is, how every person can make a difference. And we are going to be joined by our wonderful guests who are with us here in the studio today, and I have the pleasure of introducing them. First of all is Asma, Munir, Salman, who is a teacher and a social activist. Asma, you've been a teacher for the last 25 years.
Yes, that's
wonderful
right.
to have you here on the program today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Likewise. Okay, and seated next to Asma, a young man called Arsallan. Arsallan, how are you?
I'm fine.
Wonderful. It's wonderful having you here, and we look forward to talking to you. Okay, and seated next to Arsallan, another young man who is Sadeeq. And Sadeeq, how are you today?
Hello, I am fine, thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. We're really looking forward to having a wonderful conversation with you both and to learn about your journey and how inspirational and what motivation it has, and for other children who will be watching you, and not just children, grown-ups as well. I'm sure it's going to be something they're going to really enjoy, because I have been able to talk to these two young gentlemen before the show, and it's a wonderful, fantastic journey that they have travelled. And how has this been made possible? It's been made possible by a lady with a dream who turned it into reality. So Asma, tell us, how did you achieve this?
All right, so I've been a teacher, as you said, for more than 25 years, and I've been associated with some of the best schools, private schools in Pakistan, and I've had the privilege of teaching at various cities in Pakistan. However, you know, while going to work every day throughout this journey of teaching so many years, I would look at all these kids, you know, on the streets, living purposeless lives, and I would just wonder what's in store for them. You know, because I'm going to these schools where I see these wonderful kids coming from the privileged class and getting access to quality.
From the moment they're born.
They're born, absolutely.
The rest of their life.
Yeah, and they're getting access to quality education. Their parents can afford anything for them, whereas we have these children on the streets and there's no hope for them. So as one person, I mean, I just used to wonder what I could do in my own capacity to help these children. And I think it was more like a vision than a dream, where I could see myself teaching kids from the underprivileged background and turning them into valuable human beings, you know, so that they could be an asset for our country and not a liability anymore.
Fantastic.
Because if you look around and you see these kids, because I'm sure they all have a hidden talent somewhere inside of them.
Of course.
But because of not getting any access to any sort of platform, it remains undiscovered.
That's
and
so
you'll agree with me when you know you hear people calling people criminals and rapists and thieves and robbers, and blaming them for all that they've done or committed, you know. But nobody seems to think as to what circumstances actually led these individuals to commit such acts in the future. Because they might have been kids. They might have lost a parent at a very young age. And it might be possible that they did not get any direction or guidance.
Or maybe they were victims themselves.
And they could have been victims themselves, because I have kids with me at the center who have been garbage pickers. And they've been so vulnerable, they've been exposed to so much evil, and they've had experiences that would, you know, that would pain you. If you heard them, it would just, you know, pain you so much. But then on the brighter side, I consider each child to be a canvas, you know, a blank canvas. And you try to put all those colors onto that canvas, and you can create a beautiful painting out of that canvas.
That's so true.
So I think considering that each child is a possibility, whether he comes from a privileged background or an underprivileged background, keeping this in mind, I started with this initiative, and alhamdulillah, now I don't even have to talk about it. My kids will tell you their stories, and you will get to know as the work speaks for itself.
That's fantastic. So, you know, these are children who were brought to your school? Have you brought to your shelter?
Yeah, initially. Sorry.
Right, yeah.
So initially, when I started up this place, obviously it was my dream to get some kids, obviously not all the kids around Pakistan, just the kids that I could spot, you know, around me, or any kids who would be interested, or whose guardians would be interested. Maybe, you know, if they've lost a parent, or they don't have the means to get education, and even if they were willing to come from the remote areas far away, you know, from Sindh or southern Punjab or Balochistan or KPK, I was just willing to take care of them, you know, like a mother, like a mentor and a teacher. So
right, okay, so we're going to talk to the kids in a minute as well. Right now we're going for a break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. We're talking about volunteerism and literacy. And Asma, before we went to the break, you were telling us about your vision and how it came forward.
That's right. So I believe we as people need to realize that whatever we have acquired in our past lives, you know, we need to give back. Because if you have been taught something, say by your parents, by your family, by the institutions that you attended, you must have acquired something, you know. And volunteerism, that's what we're talking about today. The spirit, it is so important because I consider this to be a social responsibility. So this was something like a vision for me because I was a teacher and I thought I had to give back in the same area because obviously I couldn't go to the hospitals and start treating patients, you know. I had to cater to the needs of little children, particularly the ones who could not afford to go to schools. So yeah, you asked me about how I would convince the kids to come to me. So there have been a lot of stories, and to cut the story short, I would have to sometimes chase the guardians of such children. I would spot them on the streets and I would follow them to their homes and I would talk to the mother. If there was a single mother, I would try to motivate her. It hasn't been easy. I wouldn't say it's been an easy journey, but it's been worth it. Because now when you look at the results, it's just been like 6 years since I set this up. When my own children had grown up and they were in their universities and I had a time on my hands, and I always had this dream turned into a vision of giving back. So I thought this was the right time, and now, I mean, you can talk to the kids and they'll tell you their own stories.
That's wonderful, and we're looking so forward to talk to Arsallan and Sadeeq as well. Arsallan, we'll start with you. Okay, now you've come from Jhang, yeah? So before you came to Islamabad, what were you doing in Jhang at that time?
We were studying in a government school, and they were like teaching us nothing but just beat us and like they did this.
Okay. Was there anyone that you could tell? You know, if teachers there were, you know, punishing you, was there no one that you could tell there?
No.
No. Okay. What were you learning English there?
No.
No. What language were you speaking in over there?
We used to speak Punjabi because the language of our village is Punjabi.
Right. Okay. So you were speaking Punjabi there when you were in Jhang. Then you came to Islamabad. Okay. Before you came here, what did you think it would be like? And what did you think?
I thought it would be beautiful because I thought I was going to a new city, and that was my thoughts. I thought it would be beautiful, wonderful.
You were excited?
Yes.
Yeah, you were excited. Okay, so you came here to Islamabad, and then what happened?
Then when my father was going back to the village, I cried and cried.
Oh. You were feeling homesick already, huh? And you were missing him. So what helped you in settling down here?
I just settled after some days. Asma also came every day, so we began to settle down when she was teaching us things.
Right, okay. Did you make a lot of friends?
Yes.
What was your favourite subject while you were studying there? What did you like? What did you decide, okay, I really like this?
It was English because we used
English?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find it hard to learn English at first?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you find was hardest?
First we were learning ABC because in our village we didn't learn it properly, so it was hard for us to learn ABC.
Okay. And then, I mean, after learning that, you know, mashallah, you're so confident in the way you speak and everything. How did you develop that confidence?
After 3 or 2 years, Asma told us to read. I wasn't interested in reading, but after I started reading 2 or 3 books, I was interested because they were gone. I was like, it was beautiful, and I could go in the imagination. When I was reading, I could go in the imagination. I could think about the things which were happening in the story.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I'm going to come back to you and ask you more about your reading. Let's talk to Sadeeq. Sadeeq, tell us about where you came from and how your journey was.
My parents used to say me, don't go to school, and they used to say me that you are not allowed to go to school.
They were against your education.
Yeah.
Okay, so you weren't studying in Buttergram at that time, were you? Were you studying there? No?
No.
Oh, no, you weren't, okay. So then how did you hear about coming to the school here in Islamabad?
My uncle said to my father that there's a good school in Islamabad, and he said to that I will took him to that school.
Okay, right. At that time, what language were you using?
I used to speak Pashto.
Speak Pashto, okay. And did you know any Urdu?
No, I didn't.
You didn't know any Urdu at that time, you just knew Pashto, so of course you didn't know English either.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you came here from your village, and what did you think when you came here? Was it like you expected or you imagined, or was it completely different? Well, how did you feel?
I was excited about this place, but when I came here, I used to cry.
Oh, you used to feel homesick, yeah? Yeah, that's something that's natural. So what helped you get over that, you know, that feeling at that time?
My Asma teachers, and I used, and she's the best teacher, and I used to study with her. It's a beautiful life.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. What was one of your favorite subjects then?
English.
English, okay. And any other subjects?
Maths.
Maths, okay. So you have a mathematic mind. And
Yes.
maths is a subject usually people understand or they don't understand.
Absolutely.
And you spend the rest of your life trying to understand it.
Absolutely.
I always used to have a lot of problem with maths. You know, writing and language was one of my strongest parts. So what did you like about maths?
It's my favorite. It's my favorite subject, and I take full marks in maths.
Oh wow, fantastic! So of course that is something that keeps you motivated
Yeah.
as well. Tell me about your reading. Did reading make a difference to you in your life?
Yeah, it will improve. It improve my English, and we used to say that English is our mother tongue.
Oh, that is funny. That's lovely. So you used to have this joke that English is your mother tongue. Okay,
Yeah.
right. Well, you know, listening to you both, mashallah, I mean, it's wonderful. It doesn't seem that you know, you've only just recently learned the language. Okay, for, you know, people who are watching this program, many people find it hard to, you know, speak in English. I mean, sometimes they're okay in reading, they're okay in understanding and the comprehension, but when it comes to speaking it, many people feel a bit shy. Why is that, do you think?
Because they came here first time, and they didn't see this place, and all about this.
And you sort of feel, you know, you feel that, you know, you don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that maybe I might not say something properly, or I, you know, might not say the word properly. But then, how are you going to learn something if you don't try, isn't it? Yeah. So the first time you spoke English, Sadeeq, tell me about the first time you spoke English. You had the courage to say something in English. Do you remember? Do you remember at that time what it was, or how you sort of, or was it something that happened slowly?
I didn't know it.
You don't remember? Yeah. Okay.
How about you, Arsallan?
Like I didn't speak properly, and it was like I didn't. It was like blur, like it happens blur. So it was like it, and then when I tried, it began like it was good.
Right, and it was practice, wasn't it, that helped you in that? Yeah. Okay, so tell us about your favorite books. Any favorite books you have?
Yeah, Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist. Wow, that is a classic, and that is quite a book. What did you like about Oliver Twist?
I am also like him. That I was also like him. I used to, and some people in our village used to destroy the life of small childs.
Small children,
like,
okay.
Like Oliver Twist.
And that's where you found that sort of similarity, and you felt that you could understand his character.
Yeah.
And you could understand his pain and everything that he felt. That's one of the fantastic things about reading, isn't it? Yeah. That there's a whole new world, that there's a whole new sort of, as you said, I think Arsallan said, imagination. You know, it captures your imagination. What do you say to children who aren't reading? Why should they start reading? What message do you give to them?
They should start reading because then their language will also improve, and they will start improving by time, and they will also try to speak English. That's so true, absolutely.
And English is international language. Some people, if he stand with an Englishman, how can he speak with him? That's why we had to read stories, and we have to improve our English language.
And I love the way you think, because if you are, okay in speaking English and using the language, then actually, that is something that will help you, isn't it? Yeah.
The roots of their minds will grow, like they will grow because they will try to speak English, and when they will grow properly, then they will speak English like very good.
That's fantastic, and I'm really enjoying the way you're sitting there and speaking in English and with confidence. It's fantastic. And Asma, tell us about how the challenges that you had, just like Arsallan and Sadeeq, there are other children in the school. Right. The challenges of getting them to converse in a completely new world, in a new language.
Absolutely, it hasn't been easy, but coming back to reading, I think as soon as these kids learned the alphabet, because I'm with them, I spent a significant amount of time with them every day. So I had a plan designed for them, because eventually I wanted them to acquire the language, and gradually I encouraged them to read books, and another thing that we've not yet touched upon is the element of empathy that is created through reading.
Beautiful.
Because when you're reading a story, a novel, as Sadeeq puts in, Oliver Twist, see, he immediately connected himself with the situation, the book, and whatever that went on in the book. Similarly, Arsallan has been telling me about his favorite series has been Harry Potter. So I think he'd like to tell you himself how he connected with Harry Potter.
So as Harry is an orphan, he lives with his aunt, and like he's beaten, and beaten by his uncle. So when he begins to, when a person, Hagrid, begins to tell him about his parents, how they died, and what is that you have a talent, and what is that you have a gift. As I'm not a wizard, as I relate, but as I relate, if I'm an orphan, I also have a talent. It is the time to show what I have. If I will not show it today, then when will I show it? That's how Harry shows his talent to his school, and that's how he becomes famous.
Fantastic, fantastic. Because, as you're saying, your talent is your magic.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's what I keep telling them. You know, you all have a superpower hidden inside of you that just needs to be exploited, and it has to be brought to surface. So you just have to go around and do your little magic. I mean, I've been able to do my little magic on these kids, and they know it. And now they have to go and explore the world, because now they're able to read and understand. I mean, they can just Google information, the world opens up to them, and they can be exposed to so many possibilities, you know, and then they have to go in their own respective fields and create their own magic.
Fantastic.
You know?
And they're actually sharing their magic, aren't they? Because they're mentoring other students.
Yeah, they are mentors.
Yes, I mean, that's amazing.
They're going to tell you themselves. Sadeeq, why don't you tell?
Sadeeq, please tell us about the students that you're helping.
They are. I used to study for children, teach this for students at home, and I used to prepare their exams for the tests.
Okay, helping them in their examination preparations. You were helping them. Okay, what problems do they mainly have? What sort of help do they need from you? What is a common problem?
They are small. They used to say they want help in words. That's why I help them in words and make their practice in. I used to say them, speak in English in my class.
Speak in English in my class. Okay, you were very short. You know that. Okay, speak in English in my class. Sure. Okay, and then what did they say? What if they said, you know, we can't speak? We can't do it.
They speak.
Okay, when they have no other choice, then they will speak. Yeah. And how did you help them along the way? For the ones that were shy and they were, you know, they're a bit scared of speaking.
They never shy from speaking English.
Oh, fantastic! That's really great.
I think that's motivation coming to them. Like when you come to if you come to my center, you're going to ask all these kids what their favorite subject is. It's going to be English.
That's amazing.
Why? Because I am an English teacher, you know, and it's all that love and affection that you put into your teaching that makes them love what they do.
That's absolutely
and
true.
When they love what they do, they're not actually working, they're having fun. So I think this is something they've picked up from me over the years, from the whole setup that we have at the center. And that's what they're trying to inculcate further on. So the little kids, they consider them their little mentors, and they have their confidence in them. And you know, the trust factor. So that's why they are able to make a difference too. As you said earlier on, that we can all make a difference. These are little kids, but look at them.
Look at them.
Just because they have acquired something, they have this passion of giving it back to the ones who deserve it.
So how do you feel when you see these little children who are your students? How do you feel?
We feel good because one day Asma also taught us, and now we feel good because we are also teaching somebody because Asma also taught us.
We will give back her.
You're giving back. Absolutely, that's beautiful.
I mean, they keep saying that, you know, they want to do something for me. So I just tell them, if you want to do something for me, just help the ones who are weaker than you, you know, who need help. And that's how they are giving back, because they feel honored, and they feel responsible enough to be giving away what they have acquired over the period of time.
So when you go outside and you see young children who are, you know, maybe barefoot or standing somewhere, and you know, they're asking for money or something else, and they're not studying, what do you feel at that time?
Bad.
You feel bad, and you want to help them. And I think that is one of the main things that drives you to doing something, isn't it, Asma?
You see, every child, you know, they have their rights. And there's so many kids we see working as domestic help at various homes. I don't know how people have the heart to make them work, you know, sweep the floors or do things. I've seen little kids working in little shops or workshops, and I mean, they do have dreams as well, you know.
Of course.
And some of them don't even know that they have dreams and aspirations. But once you open up this world of possibilities to them, then they realize what they're capable of.
True.
Because now these kids, they've seen a world beyond the four walls that they were confined in.
Right.
And now they know that they have to explore even more. And reading has helped them so much because they have been able to find out about the world that they live in. I talk about a certain place with them. They just go to the world map and they spot that place and they tell me, ma'am, see, this is where it is. And now they all wish to travel the world.
Oh.
And
where would you want to travel to? What? Any particular place in the world that you'd like to travel to?
Canada.
Canada. That's
Canada is so cold.
Very interesting. Why Canada?
Because Asma also goes there.
Because?
Ma'am Asma goes there because the world revolves around me. You know, whatever I do,
so
they're
whatever
interested
you like,
in doing
they like.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are interested in you know, visiting the Buckingham Palace and getting to know about the Queen and go to places in Africa when we talk about them.
Right.
And then, you know, to all the imaginary places. Like they share their dreams with me. Sometimes they become a character during, you know, in their dream.
Fantastic.
And then they tell me that, you know, we were trying to save certain group of people, you know, we wanted to help them, superheroes.
Oh,
and they
wow.
are in real life, you know, they are.
And they are.
Yeah, yeah.
You know why you're superheroes? Because number one, you saved yourself.
Absolutely.
And that is the biggest superhero, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we are responsible for our own happiness.
Absolutely.
And if we are a happy person and we are content with what we're doing, then we will, you know, we will spread that happiness.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing because of Asma as well, and that's fantastic. So what do you want to do with your education? What are you thinking of, you know, when a person is very young, they think of many things, you know, oh, I want to be a pilot, a doctor, or whatever, you know. What do you think of?
I want to be a doctor.
You want to be a doctor?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
And Arsallan further has plans of volunteering as well back in his village. Arsallan, why don't you share your plan?
I have 5 friends of mine who have also come from Jang, and we have planned that we want to make a school in our village for small children, because we also learned and we want them to learn from us.
Fantastic. What about you, Sadeeq?
Ma'am, and I also said to ma'am that I want to work like to teach small kids.
You want to be a teacher?
In Apna Sheltor.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, he wants to help me with this place because he's the only kid, I guess. Everyone has their own dreams, you know, but they want to come back. They wish to come back when they grow up and do their own little bit at my center. But Sadeeq is that one person who wants to further expand this place and get more and more kids. And he's interested in becoming a teacher.
That's a wonderful
So I
vision.
hope that he just...
Yeah. Okay, we wish you the best of luck.
And talking about happiness, I'm sorry, you know, that is such an important element.
Yeah.
Because I'm teaching kids, you know, as you know, as part of my job. And there's so many younger kids I come across and they're going through depression and anxiety at such a young age because they are not exposed to the real world, you know, that they live in, because they have not been able to step out of their comfort zone. We as parents tend to provide them with everything.
Overprotection,
and we tend
to cushion the lifestyle.
Absolutely. We fear for them, you know, don't go out in the street, there are bad people out there. And I think to get these younger people coming from the privileged class, I believe they need to be exposed to such programs. I'm sure there are a lot of...
That's a great idea.
Yeah, a lot of other people, good people doing this good work. And when you talk about volunteering, it can just begin with teaching, you know, some help, domestic help that you have at home, maybe just teach them whatever. You know, a little kid, give him a book and a bag, begin with that, or go to some organizations where people are running such programs and volunteer, because you can do it once a week, you can do it once a month, a fortnight visit, but whatever it is, play a sport with them, talk to them about life, because I have seen and experienced this, that these little kids demand their attention and our attention.
Yes.
And they deserve our attention. Because you see, you look at a child coming from an underprivileged, why do we call it an underprivileged background? Because he has been through some sort of a trauma. He has been through unfortunate circumstances, maybe losing a parent, maybe the poverty issue.
Poverty itself is a trauma.
Yeah, it's a trauma. And at times I've seen mothers, you know, of kids living at my center, struggling to make ends meet, and they leave their kids behind, maybe like 6 to 7 siblings at home, just because they have to work in a house as domestic help. And when they get to that place, you know, people like us just start to scream and shout at them, why are you late? What made you come so late? And you don't realize you have a job here. And we never tend to empathize with the circumstances, their situation, because they have left like 6 kids at home who are soon going to be out of that little slum area, and they're going to be in the streets.
What you've talked about, you know, empathy.
Empathy,
which is so important.
Yes, absolutely.
And that definitely is one of the binding factors of the human race.
Yeah, and keeping them together, you know, that is something that keeps the society together. Why is there such a huge divide, the rich and the poor? You know, we're going to help the poor, the class system. It's about time. I think we all need to stand up, and we need to realize what a child is able to achieve, because I think they are the hope. And the only hope that we see, and there's so much human resource being wasted away on the streets. It's heartbreaking.
And in fact, as you know, if we talk about our religion promotes all these habits. I mean, a religious quote is, you know, that a kind word is better than charity that hurts.
Absolutely.
So imagine the whole philosophy behind that.
Absolutely.
To volunteer, and basically, at the end of the day, it's to make somebody feel good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
just
whatever way you do that, however you do that,
absolutely.
I mean, imagine somebody is you know, in some sort of charity work, but they're not making the other person feel good, then there's no point of that. Because again, we're talking about self-pride.
Yes,
we're talking about the ego. The ego's the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
The ego's the same, the self-pride is the same, respect is the same. Whether you're rich or poor, everybody deserves the same amount of respect. So I think what you're saying is really makes so much sense. Absolutely true. Yeah.
It has to be, I mean, it has to be made, it has to be done. Like, a lot of people ask me what I'm doing to educate them religiously, you know, like to tell them about Islam. And I just tell them, I just invite them to my center, and I tell them, like, this is what Islam is all about. You come to my center and experience it.
Yes, exactly.
There's equality, there's respect, there's teamwork, there's brotherhood, there's honesty, there's discipline. What else do you want? You know, this is what Islam is all about.
Right.
So these guys, these girls, I have girls and boys living together. They have their own dorm areas, but they have all their learning activities together. And this is what I've taught these boys, that you have to respect girls as equal human beings. Right, so Arsallan?
So true.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, tell us about that.
We're living equal, and with us, girls also study with us, and we never like make rules like girls will do the things alone and boys will do things alone. We study, we help each other every time, and we also, if someone needs help in maths or science, if another boy or girl is good at maths or science, he can help others. So that's how it works.
Fantastic. What subject do mainly, you know, the children need a lot of help in?
Maths or Urdu.
Maths and Urdu.
Yes, Urdu.
Urdu is very hard for them because it's like, because they've come from background, they've come from the frontier province,
from your own
from Punjab,
ethnic.
And so basically Pashto and Punjabi, they just come naturally to them. And then I've been helping them with their English. I've also taught them Urdu though, because but having the amount of time on my hands, I can only manage well with English. But Urdu is, I guess it's a bit of a difficult language.
It's a technical
because when you
language,
write Urdu,
true,
and maths as it is, I think for maths, even I as a kid struggled with maths because I never got a very good teacher. So if you have a good teacher, I think you can do really well in maths, you know.
Right.
And they can, because whatever they struggle with and they tend to understand, if it's a concept, they try to explain it to the younger ones, and that's how it works. We actually, you know, we have a few people volunteering, helping us out, but if there's nobody, we help each other and we manage.
Fantastic. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, unfortunately we have reached the near to the end of the show, so before we end today's program, it's a very, very special program because you're here. Just let's have a short message for the viewers who are watching. So Sadeeq, anything you want to say to the people who are watching today's program?
I would like to thanks them to show this program. And
what would you like to say to the children or the
what
people
about
who
children, imagine who cannot, who also have a dream like yours to have education? What would you tell them? What can they do?
I used to say them to do good work with others, and to be good with others.
To be a good human being,
Yeah.
to be a good person. Okay, yeah, that's fantastic advice. Lovely. Thank you, Sadeeq. And Arsallan.
I want to say that in this world, nobody is unimportant. Everybody is important,
So
because
true.
if we are from a poor background, then even if we are from poor background, we are not we are important because we have talents, we have dreams, which if you try to get hard and try to work hard and do, then your dream will also come true. That's why everyone is important. No, everyone is important. That's my
Beautiful.
message.
That's a lovely message. Everyone is important. Be a good human being,
Yeah.
be a good person, and everyone is important. Beautiful messages. Thank you so much for being with us on today's show. And it's been wonderful having you here and wonderful talking to you. And I'm sure many people would have loved listening to everything that you said. And Asma, now you with your message.
My message, I think Arsallan put it really accurately, you know, what he said just now, nobody is unimportant. You have no idea what is lying underneath that person that needs to come out.
So true.
So anyone or whoever watches this program, I think they should just look around, just give a look around and see if there's anybody that they can help in their own capacity. I mean, they could do it in any way that suits them. But charity begins at home. So look around
True.
and find someone, or just that person just might be next to you and you don't even know it because you're too busy making your own life or too caught up in
So
your
true.
daily routine that you tend not to pay attention to that person. And particularly children, they are our hope for tomorrow. So
Absolutely
pay attention to all the children around and try to get them into schools. Get them to learn, get them to explore, get them to find out about the world.
To read.
And read, please. Reading is so important. And you're never going to be alone if you are into reading. Yeah, a book can be your best friend. So I think that's all about it. Thank you for having us on the show.
Thank you so much.
And as I've observed that why can Asma do all this work? Because she is inner happiness, and that's all. She has peace, and she can do work in peace, and she has inner happiness.
So it's important.
Inner happiness.
And you
So
need to be
true.
happy inside to be able, as you said, the vibes, the energy that
When
you
you're
give out.
happy inside,
When you're happy inside, only then you're going to be able to make the other people
Thank
happy.
you so much,
so
all of you, for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and with that we come to the end of today's show, and what a fantastic show it has been. The passion of being a volunteer, what that does, it helps you to cross boundaries and to make, translate your dreams into vision and then into reality. And it's something anyone can do and everyone can do, because at the end of the day, every little bit helps. And I think that's the motto that we should have with us. So until next week, stay happy. Bye-bye.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. President, may I have your permission to commence the proceedings of the oath-taking ceremony of the Chief Justice of Pakistan?
Please do.
Now I request Qari Dr. Ikramul Haq for tilawat-e-Quran Pak.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله يأمركم أن تؤدوا الأمانات إلى أهلها وإذا حكمتم بين الناس أن تحكموا بالعدل. إن